I have to be honest. Before I even hit record on this episode, I almost didn't do it. I felt like an imposter. Who am I to talk about imposter syndrome when I still battle it myself? I was crying in my bathtub last week, worried about my company, my people, my kids, debt, the list goes on and on and on. But then I realized that's exactly why you need to do this. Because if I'm feeling this way, I know I'm not alone. Imposter syndrome isn't something you beat once and you never deal with again. It sneaks up on you every time you grow, every time you step into a bigger space. And that's why I want to talk about it today on my very first episode. How do we push through it, even when that little voice in our head is telling us we don't belong? Welcome to Cut the BS, Build the Dream, where we cut through self-doubt, worry, anxiety, and all the other BS that's holding us back. And we get real about what it takes to build the life you want. I'm Brittany Kosov, your host. And today we're tackling something I know a lot of you struggle with, imposter syndrome. And I get it because I've been there. I went from being a school librarian making $60,000 a year to running my own real estate company. And let me tell you, there were plenty of moments where I felt like a fraud. And here's the thing, that feeling doesn't mean you don't belong. It means you're growing. And today we're going to talk about why imposter syndrome happens, what's happening in your brain, and most importantly, how to push through it. So what exactly is imposter syndrome? It's that persistent feeling of self-doubt, right? Like you're not as confident as people think you are, despite all the evidence to the contrary. Does that sound familiar? It shows up in so many ways. Maybe you're starting a new business or stepping into leadership or just making some sort of big move in your life. It's that voice in your head that starts whispering, what if they figure out that I don't actually know what I'm doing? Let me tell you something. Every single person who has ever done anything great has had that moment. Even the most successful people you admire have been there. And so, I want to break it down for you. What's the science behind it? Because there's actually a biological reason why you feel this way. First up, the amygdala. This is your brain's fear center. It's wired to keep you safe, which is great if you're running from a bear or a crazy ex-boyfriend. Not so great when you're just trying to step out of your comfort zone. That part of your brain sees unfamiliar situations as potential threats, which is why stepping into something new, it triggers that fight or flight response. That's why your palms get sweaty, like mine right now, and your stomach knots up. It's your brain trying to protect you. But here's the good news. Your brain also has something called neuroplasticity. This means it can literally rewire itself. Every time you push past your comfort zone, your brain creates these new neural pathways, making the unfamiliar feel more natural over time. I think one of my mentors says it's like skis, right? When you're skiing down the same slope over and over again, you're building those tracks. That's what neuroplasticity is. And the more you take action, the easier it gets. And so what does that mean? Translation, please. It means feeling like an imposter is just proof that you're learning and you're growing. And emotional regulation, that's been a game changer for me. I realized that every negative emotion is actually an opportunity to build a better relationship with my emotions. Remember the bathtub moment? And that carries over into everything. Business, relationships, friendships. And I started to see business, my company, what I'm doing as the biggest vehicle for my personal growth, because I was constantly facing these emotions when I was getting in front of my agents and teaching them something new. But instead of running, I leaned into it. I stopped letting fear make my world smaller. Instead, I'm trying to let these challenges expand it. For so long, I had a negative relationship with my emotions. Maybe some of you can relate. I grew up in a broken home, and the adults around me, they weren't fully in control of their emotions either. And that made it tough for me. I fought those emotions. I ran from them. I hid them with alcohol, with other distractions, right? How am I supposed to reach my goals though, when my negative emotions keep coming up? Getting out here, it requires me to be in front of a camera, to be on stage, leading a team, running a business. And I want to be that person. I do, but honestly, it freaks me the fuck out. So yeah, I had a panic attack the other day in the bathtub, just thinking about this episode. But I also knew that if I wanted to grow, I had to change how I handled those moments, these moments, the moments that keep happening right now. That realization, it pushed me to practice sitting with those feelings instead of running from them. So, how do we shut that imposter voice down? I'm going to go over a few hacks, right? A few hacks that have helped me. And I know they're going to help you too. So, first off, you have to reframe it. Instead of saying, I don't belong here, I shouldn't be doing this podcast, I shouldn't be up in front of this stage, switch that around. Tell yourself, I'm learning, I'm growing. And that small shift in language, it really makes a huge difference. Words are magic, and we have to speak into the universe and our own heads when we want, not that we don't want. You know what I mean? And also, here's another one. Document your wins. Keep a success journal, whatever it is. Write down every little win, the compliments, every moment where you did something scary and it worked out. And over time, you're going to build up proof that you do belong. I did this recently with the help of my therapist. God, I do not pay that woman enough money. I literally wrote a timeline of my life from birth until now. All the things I was proud of, right? I was the first person in my family to go to college. Then I got my master's degree. Well, I navigated a failing marriage. I can't say it's perfect because sometimes I'm still navigating it. I got into real estate. I bought my first investment property all the way until now, where I'm making more money in a month than my entire family, all seven siblings, my parents, can make in a year. And we have to document those wins and really see the accomplishment. I love David Goggins, and he calls it the cookie jar. You reach in and you eat one of those every time you feel stuck or scared or like you can't do it. Another hack is find your tribe. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, whether it's a mentor, a mastermind group, your therapist, or just a couple of friends who believe in you. Stay close to those people, right? The ones that remind you of your value. For me, it started with my best friend, Josh. He believed in me. He pushed me to open up my company when I was so damn scared. You have to find your people. And if they're not around you now, you need to put yourself in that room. Go to the conferences, network, or hell, get on meetup.com and find a group to join. It's not just important, it's truly necessary. Another one, take action over perfection. You've got to stop waiting until you feel ready, because that day, it may never come. This podcast episode, I've been working on it for weeks. I bought all the equipment. I got my background ready. I reorganized my whole bookshelf. I made every little excuse to say, okay, now's not the time. I've got to do X, Y, and Z. And now's not the time. And now's not the time. But here's the thing. Finally, I had no more excuses. I had to just do it, because confidence comes from action, not from thinking about it. Another really great hack, and it helps me specifically, is visualization. Your brain, as great as it is, remember, it tries to protect you, but it also doesn't know the difference between real success and imagined success. So start picturing yourself winning. See yourself crushing that presentation, signing the deal, or stepping into that new role with confidence. I really admire Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he would sit in his tiny bedroom in Austria, just staring at these pictures of bodybuilders. And he did it over and over and over again. And he saw him as that person. Visualization is a powerful tool to hold in your tool belt. And the more you do these things, the quieter that imposter voice becomes. So if you've ever felt like an imposter, if you've ever wondered, who am I to do this? I want you to remember something. The people we admire the most, right? The Arnold Schwarzeneggers, the Alex Hormozis, the David Goggins, the leaders, the entrepreneurs, the change makers, they all feel this way at some point. But the difference is they keep going anyway. And when doubt, whispered in their ear, they showed up. When fear tried to hold them back, they showed up. And that's what I'm choosing to do. And that's what I want for you too. We've got to keep pushing. We've got to keep showing up. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. So let's wrap this up with a truth bomb. If you feel like an imposter, it means you're doing something brave. It means you're stepping into something bigger, and that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Every successful person has had these doubts, but they didn't let them stop them from their goals, and neither should you. So here's my question for you. How do you cut the BS to get closer to your dream? Well, if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, think about one step you can take just this week even if it scares you. Get on Meetup, find a tribe, start writing down your successes, picture yourself doing it. All of those hacks are so important, and it's going to scare you, but you have to do it anyway. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Cut the BS, Build a Dream. So hit home, share it with someone else who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Next week, I'm going to be talking about Eat the Frog and how I built a killer morning routine. So I'm Brittany Kosov. You've got this.